This is a very, very nice shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, this is from 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 2nd shloka. In the first shloka, it was explained that Naraji was constantly staying in Dwarka. So now it's very interesting because Naraji has been cursed by Daksha to not stay in one place for more than 3 days. And on top of it, Naraji himself is constantly moving around and preaching the glories of the Supreme Lord. So the question can be raised, a person who's fully detached, how he could stay and come back to Dwarka again and again with the desire to see Krishna. So this shloka explains very beautifully. And then there is so much instruction for us also. So this has been spoken by Shukadev Goswami to Parishit Maharaj. Konu rajan indriyavan mukund charnambujam na bhajet sarvato mrityur upasyam amarotamay. Konu, whenever there is a word called Konu, it's like a kamutya, it's a what to say. Say, Konu, who's that person? O Rajan means, O King Parishit, who will be that person who is indriyavan, who has senses? Who has senses, and Mukund Charanam Bhujam na bhajet. Mukund means giver of liberation. Charanam Bhujam means the lotus feet. Who will be that person who has senses and who will not worship Lord Mukunda who gives liberation? Why? Why are you saying? He said, na bhajet sarvatah mrityu. If a person does not worship Krishna, Vishnu, then wherever he goes, the snake of death is approaching him from behind. Just like if a snake is harmed by some person, that snake will go behind that person wherever he goes. Similarly, in whichever planet a person goes, the snake of death is going behind him. So then, na bhajet sarvato mrityu. And those who are free from death, they are worshipping Krishna. Upasyam amar uttamai. Uttamai means by the best. And Amar Uttamai means those who are best among people who have no death. Just like Brahmaji and Shivji. They don't die actually. They never die. Brahmaji never dies. Shivji never dies. And they are worshipping Lord Krishna. So what to talk of people like us who are actually at every step of life faced with death. So this is we have understood the shloka. Now various acharyas have given very wonderful and interesting comments on it. I will put before you. This will take some little bit of time. So one thing which Srila Sridhar Swami says is that in the service of Krishna, those who are liberated, they are also very, very eager. Then what to talk of others who are not liberated? Those who are absolutely detached from everything else, they also are very eager to serve Krishna. Then what to talk of people like us who are actually conditioned soul? This one. Second is that he says, he comments on the word Indriyavan means that simply by having senses, a person is qualified to serve Krishna. That means it is not expected or there is no restriction of Varna and Ashram in serving Krishna. Are you able to follow? Simply by having ears, you can hear about Krishna, is it not? Simply by having a tongue, you can chant about Krishna. You can take prasadam. So just like everybody can take bath in Mother Ganga, irrespective of what his Varna and Ashram is. Similarly, everyone is qualified for bhakti. And bhakti means everyone is qualified to serve Krishna through his senses. This is what Srila Sridhar Swami say. Now what else others are saying? This is very interesting. Then Srila Girdhar Lal says, very interesting on this, he says that one should not think that a person like Naradji who's absolutely detached from everything, how he can have so much eagerness that is constantly coming up to serve Krishna in Dwarka. So he's saying that the lotus feet of the Lord are not something of this material world. There is nothing mundane about it. They're transcendental and that's why they're attracting even the liberated souls by this shlokas. And it's interesting, he says Rajan. He's referring to Parishit Maharaj as Rajan, O King. That means you are very knowledgeable. So I'm sure that you don't differ from my opinion. What I'm saying, you're not differing because you're a king, you know all these things. So then he comments on the word Mukunda. Mukunda means Mukti Dataha, Shri Krishnasya. Shri Krishna who gives liberation. What? Liberation from what? The threefold miseries of life which are there in this world, he gives the living entity who serves him liberation from these things. And then he says that that this problem of death is everywhere. And how we can serve Krishna? Then says by seeing Krishna, by worshipping Krishna, by paying obeisances. So this is very simple. Any person who has senses can serve Krishna. Now, another argument can be said, but we see so many people not serving Krishna. You are saying that simply by having senses, a person becomes qualified to serve Krishna. But we see so many people with senses, that means senses of human beings, not serving Krishna. We see that. Why? Then he says, Vashikritantah Karana, person whose heart, whose mind is controlled, and also his senses are controlled. Those who are viveki, those who have discrimination, that this is of value and this is not of value. That person with senses is qualified to serve Krishna. Are you able to follow this? This is very interesting. Just by having ears, you can hear Krishna Katha, but you will only hear if you use your ears to hear Krishna Katha. If we have this discrimination that hearing Krishna Katha is good. So this is very interesting. Very, very nice comments they are mentioning. And then this further says that a person who are attached to senses, sensory perceptions, they will not worship Krishna. This has to be understood. Srila Jiva Goswami nicely says a very amazing example. He says, in Vraja, everyone knows that even trees and shrubs who don't have senses are serving Krishna and they derive happiness by worshipping him. So what to talk of those people who have senses? Is it not amazing? So that means the natural qualification to serve Krishna is that you should have senses. Rishi Kena Rishi Kesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchite. Are you able to follow all these things? Okay. This is amazing. One shloka and so many things are there. So ordinary people who will worship him, who worship Krishna, they will become free from death. And those who are detached from material enjoyment, they should also worship Krishna because they will derive extreme happiness by serving Krishna. So like this. And then, so why a great devotee like king like Parikshit Maharaj will not serve him? And last of all, Srila Chakravarti Pad, he says that, where is it? I got confused. Srila Chakravarti Pad says that serving Krishna is very easy. He says, person with senses like ears are qualified for worshipping the Lord. So, and then last of all, Kaimuti said where that when Lord Shiva and Brahmaji is worshipping, then we can understand the greatness of Lord Krishna. So after saying all this, what it has to do with that chanting? So you see, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what is the greatest service to Krishna? What is the highest bhajan? And simply Mahaprabhu told, chanting Hare Krishna. So we have these senses, Krishna has given us this tongue and ears, and simply by chanting and hearing, we can please Krishna to the maximum extent. So you understand why I'm saying all this? We have fear of death everywhere. Brahmaji is chanting, Shivji is chanting. Why should we not chant? So let us chant Hare Krishna. Hopefully you got some light from the shloka. Hare Krishna,